Sure.
Oh, would you like me to?
That's all right. May it please the court, opposing counsel, ladies and gentlemen, Riley Winter did not have the skills to pay the bills. What is a cook who insults his own food? What is a real estate agent who insults a property she's trying to sell? What is a culture writer who insults her greatest advertiser? Incompetent. Ladies and gentlemen, Riley Winter was an at-will employee who bit the hand that fed her. She was given the chance to improve multiple times and let known so through 2 performance evaluations, yet she remained stagnant. She saw the direction of digital content TBD was headed in, yet only chose to write about things that she wanted to read. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this series of insubordinate acts ended up climaxing with Riley Winter writing an article absolutely attacking TBD's greatest advertiser, Turntable Incorporated. Insulting your greatest advertiser. Putting you and your fellow employees' paychecks at risk. Sawyer Shaw did what any reasonable and protective boss would do and cut off the dead weight that Riley Winter was to TBD, letting her sink down and clunk on the bottom. Now today you heard experts, witnesses, employees try to twist and mangle conversations, text messages, emails to deceive you from the truth and paint Sawyer Shaw as an ageist. When in reality, the truth is that Sawyer Shaw was doing what was in the best interest of the company and the TBD family. Now today you might have heard how Riley Winter was offended by TBD's playful work environment. Yet Riley Winter never once complained to any TBD employee about any of these feelings she had, despite TBD having an open door policy. Now today you heard from Riley Winter, who tried to tell you she was improving when she was being reminded constantly to change her content and get with the times. You heard from Terry Kramer, an expert who only spent 10 hours on the case, reviewed no evidence, and diagnosed Riley Winter with PTSD. Now the only damages that Riley Winter had were the damages that she was doing to TBD's revenue. Today you also heard from Austin Perez, TBD's editor. And she told you that Riley Winter was pretty high in clicks, but Riley Winter was very low in shares, number 13 out of 21, and in article count, Riley Winter was 11 out of 21. Now today you heard from Sawyer Shaw, the man himself, how he transformed TBD from its once ruined state back into a formidable competitor in the pop culture industry, an industry that demands competition for even the worst of companies to scrape by on the bottom. You heard how progress was Sawyer's main goal, and those who refused to get on board had to be let go. You also heard how Riley Winter was dead weight to this progress. Along with being dead weight, Riley Winter wrote an article attacking a major advertiser. Now you might try to blame this on the editor for letting this article through. But what good writer worth retaining would think it's okay to so dangerously and recklessly insult a major source of advertising in the company? You heard about the night that Sawyer Shaw had to call Adrian Edwards and tell him about the Turntable article. And during this phone call, Edwards told Sawyer, "Tell me what to do. Either give up my hundreds of thousands of dollars in advertising revenue, or make you give up the woman that wrote that article." Now, ladies and gentlemen, for any good boss, this decision is easy, regardless of that employee's age, sex, race, sexual orientation, anything. Now, today you might have heard things like age is an embarrassment. But what good boss would want to focus on the past failures of his company when he could be focusing on the future successes? And you might have heard the word dinosaur being thrown around today. Ladies and gentlemen, TBD was a fun place to work. That's why Riley Winter stuck around for 27 years. The younger writers would pick on the older writers would pick on them right back. It was just the younger brother picking on the older brother. Now today you also heard from Kirby Doolittle, an intern at TBD who got to sit in on TBD's writers' circles. She told you that in these writers' circles, Riley Winter was often unagreeable. He called his coworkers' ideas sophomoric, infantile, least common denominator. You heard how Riley Winter, the senior writer with a top salary, how his ideas were the least likely to make it out of the writer's circle and onto a computer screen. you heard about Doolittle's visit with Riley Winter a month after the termination. And in this visit, Riley Winter was happy, no signs of distress. And when talking about the lawsuit, Riley Winter stated that revenge is a dish best served cold, and there's nothing colder than suing the pants off of some spoiled brat who deserves what's coming to him. Now this spoiled brat that Riley Winter was referring to is our client, Sawyer Shaw. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our story here today is coming to a close. But Riley Winter is not the hero of this story. Riley Winter is the villain of this story. And this villain's weapon is in the form of a revenge lawsuit. Ladies and gentlemen, you also heard from Vic Fogel, a master of the modern news medium, who told you the importance of clicks and shares for an online company to make money. She told you that Riley Winter was below in shares while he did have high clicks. She told you that Riley Winter was a successful culture writer who merely failed to adapt to a changing industry. Now, ladies and gentlemen, being able to adjust to your industry is just as important as the base knowledge to work there. Because regardless of where you work, your industry is going to be changing. In order to be a good employee, you need to keep up. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Riley Winter didn't spill coffee in the break room and get fired. Riley Winter didn't jam a copier and get fired. Riley Winter was about to cost TBD their greatest advertiser and got fired. A decision to fire an employee without the skills to pay the bills is not biased, it's not discriminatory, it's just good business. And that's why we ask you to find in favor of the defense. Thank you.